All right, so we're diving into something pretty interesting today. Um, Coconut water and weight loss. I know a lot of our listeners are really curious about this, and honestly, I am too.
Yeah, it's definitely been getting a lot of buzz lately.
And we found this article from VnExpress International, a Vietnamese newspaper. They talked to a nutrition expert, Dr. Tran Thi Truoc Vuong, and she had some pretty interesting insights about how coconut water could potentially, you know, help people manage their weight.
Yeah, I saw that article. Some good stuff in there.
Yeah. So one of the first things they talked about was how low in calories coconut water is. Like only 45 to 60 calories per serving.
Yeah, that's a big selling point for sure, especially compared to all those sugary drinks out there. Like if you swap out even just one soda a day with coconut water,
Oh yeah, huge difference.
you could see a significant calorie reduction.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm curious, what about the sugar in the coconut water itself? I mean, we always hear about fruit juices and how much sugar they have.
Oh, totally. It's a valid concern. But here's the thing, coconut water actually has significantly less sugar than most fruit juices.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're getting those electrolytes and hydration without those crazy blood sugar spikes that you get with other drinks. The ones that leave you feeling all like jittery and then you crash.
Oh, totally. And then, of course, you end up craving more sugar.
Exactly.
So it's like we're getting the good stuff without that, like, sugar roller coaster.
Right.
The article also talked about how coconut water is a good source of potassium and how that's supposed to be good for electrolyte balance.
Absolutely. Electrolytes are crucial, especially if you're trying to manage your weight.
Oh, how so?
Well, potassium specifically can help flush out excess sodium. And sodium, as we know, can cause water retention and bloating.
Oh, that makes sense. So less bloating, less water weight. I can see how that would tie into weight loss.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about all this talk about coconut water boosting metabolism?
Right.
Like, is there any actual science behind that?
That's where things get really interesting. So coconut water has a bunch of nutrients like magnesium and vitamin C,
Right.
but it's the potassium that's really getting all the attention for its potential metabolic effects.
Interesting.
There's been research that shows potassium can help regulate insulin sensitivity, and that's a key factor in how your body uses energy.
Oh, okay. Insulin sensitivity, though. That sounds kind of technical. Can you explain what that means?
Sure. Think of insulin like a key.
Right.
And this key unlocks your cells to let glucose in, which is basically energy from food. Now, when your cells are sensitive to insulin, that key works great. Your body uses glucose for energy super efficiently. But when you have insulin resistance, it's like that key gets rusty.
Ah, I see.
The glucose can't get into the cells as easily, and it ends up building up in your bloodstream.
So a faster metabolism is like having that well-oiled key, making sure all that energy from food gets used properly.
Precisely. It's about making sure your body is running efficiently.
Gotcha. So more research might be needed to, like, fully nail down how coconut water impacts metabolism. But those early findings seem pretty promising.
They really do. And we've only just scratched the surface here.
I know, right? It's pretty amazing how something so, simple like coconut water could have all these potential benefits.
It really is.
This is so cool. So we've got this natural drink. It's low in calories, low in sugar, might help with metabolism and bloating. It almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, well, we got to remember, right? It's not like some magic cure-all. Coconut water, it's just one part of the whole picture.
Right, right. It's not going to magically make you lose weight.
Exactly. Got to have that healthy diet,
Yeah.
And exercise, all that good stuff.
Of course, of course. Speaking of exercise, though, the article also mentioned coconut water being a good post-workout drink. Something about electrolytes, right?
You got it. When you're working out, sweating it out, you lose electrolytes, like sodium, potassium, all that. It's really important to replenish those.
Yeah, I always hear about that.
And a lot of people turn to those, sports drinks.
Yeah, those bright-colored ones.
But those often have a ton of sugar and all those artificial ingredients.
So coconut water is like a more natural way to get those electrolytes.
Exactly. You're getting what your body needs without all the extra junk.
Okay, I like that. So it's not just about rehydrating, it's about, like, replenishing those specific minerals.
That's it.
There was also something in the article about lauric acid. I think it's found in coconut water, and it's supposed to help with appetite control.
Lauric acid, yeah, that's a fatty acid. And there's some interesting research on it. It might actually help you feel fuller for longer, like it slows down digestion a bit.
Oh, interesting. So even though coconut water is pretty low in calories on its own, it can help you eat less overall.
That's the thinking. It's like a double whammy, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you put it all together, the metabolism boost, less bloating, the appetite control, Coconut water starts to sound pretty powerful.
It definitely has a lot going for it.
So let's say someone's listening to this and they're like, all right, I want to try it. What's the best way to work coconut water into your routine? Did Dr. Fuon have any specific tips?
Oh, she did. She had a couple of suggestions. First, try drinking it on an empty stomach in the morning.
Oh, okay.
That could help kickstart your metabolism.
Get things going right away.
Exactly. And her second tip was to drink it before meals.
Oh, interesting.
That could help curb your appetite, so you naturally eat a little bit less.
So it's like a little pre-meal ritual, kind of sets you up for success.
Exactly.
What about the amount, though? Like,
Hmm.
is there a certain serving size that's best, or how much coconut water is too much?
That's a great question. And it's a good reminder that, moderation is always key. Even with something like coconut water, you can have too much of a good thing.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, it's easy to get carried away.
Mhm.
But going overboard with coconut water can mess with your electrolyte balance, specifically with potassium.
So it's not just about getting enough fluids, it's about getting the right balance.
Right, you want to make sure you're not throwing things off.
Yeah. So what did Dr. Foam say? Like, how much is a good amount?
She recommended keeping it to like a max of 2 to 3 coconuts a week,
Okay.
and each serving around 500 milliliters. That's about, a standard water bottle size.
Gotcha.
And super important, make sure it's unsweetened. We don't want all that added sugar sneaking in.
Makes sense. Stick to the natural stuff.
Always.
So what happens if, what if you do overdo it? What does an electrolyte imbalance look like?
Well, there can be a bunch of different signs, actually. You might feel muscle weakness, fatigue, maybe even headaches, or an irregular heartbeat. In some cases, it can even affect your kidneys.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it could be that serious.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind. It's all about balance, right? You want those benefits without, going too far.
Makes sense. It's like with anything in health and wellness. There's no magic bullet, right? It's about understanding all the pieces and how they work together.
Exactly. It's a holistic thing. You can't just focus on one thing and expect everything else to fall into place. You got to eat right, you got to move your body, manage stress, all of it.
So with all that in mind, where do you think this leaves us with coconut water and weight loss? Like, it sounds like it could be a helpful tool, but not the whole solution.
Right. It's not going to make you magically lose weight overnight, but it could be a good addition to your routine, something that kind of gives you a little boost.
Like a little support system.
Yeah, exactly. It's about finding what works best for you and your goals.
This has been so interesting. I got to say, I went from thinking of coconut water as, just a tasty drink to seeing it as this, like, complex thing that could actually play a role in overall wellness.
It's funny how that happens, right? You start digging into something and you realize there's so much more to it than you thought.
And that's what I love about these deep dives.
Me too. You got to stay curious.
So for everyone listening out there, maybe you'll think twice next time you're reaching for a drink. Maybe you'll grab some coconut water instead of that soda. Or maybe you'll try those tips from Dr. Fallon and see how it works for you.
It's all about experimenting, right? Seeing what feels good for your body.
But at the end of the day, the most important thing is to listen to yourself. Make choices that make you feel good.
That's what it's all about.
Well, this has been another great deep dive.
Always fun chatting with you.
Until next time, everyone, stay curious and keep exploring.
And stay hydrated.